To seek Allah Azza wa Jal with the good, because Allah said, "Oh, you believe, fear Allah and find the way for Him." With your prayers, with your sujood, with your love to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and your love to his companions. And we love for him and we hate for Allah. That his words will superior of others. These are feelings of the heart that you worship Allah with, and you seek His help with these good deeds, with these good actions, if you put it in front of Allah. The story that is known about the three who got stuck in the cave and they ask Allah Azza wa Jal with their deeds. So make something between you and Allah, that only between you and Allah. You don't tell anybody about it. Let it be between you and Allah Azza wa Jal. So if you fall into calamity, you bring that thing and you ask Allah Azza wa Jal with it. So you know Allah Azza wa Jal in the ease, so He will know you at the time of hardship. Also with the righteous people who are alive. Allah have peace and tranquility of the Prophet and our Prophet Yaqub, whose sons came to him. Oh Allah, ask Allah's forgiveness. He said, "Oh, I will ask Allah for forgiveness. He is the most forgiven." I will ask Allah for for forgiveness. He is the most forgiven. And in the Quran, and if they did wrong to themselves, they came to you and they ask Allah's forgiveness, and the Prophet asked forgiveness for them, they will find Allah Azza wa Jal is most forgiven. And the hypocrites, if they were told, "Come on, may the Prophet forgive you," they will turn their heads, and they are arrogant, and and it doesn't matter whether you ask forgiveness or Allah will not forgive them. Allah does not guide those who are disobedient or who is rebellious. And the woman who came that she is going through problems, ask Allah to heal me. He told her, "If you want, I'll ask Him, He will heal you. Or be patient and get to a Jannah." He said, "I will be patient, but ask Allah Azza wa Jal that I will not be covering my body. To cover me. I don't want my private part to be exposed." So he asked Allah Azza wa Jal. And the one who asked the Prophet ﷺ that he among the 70,000 who entered the heavens with no accountability, and he had the proceeding from Allah, and he was among those. The blind asked Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Prophet ﷺ, to bring back his sight. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Whomever reach Uwais," and he's among the followers, that whomever reach him, let him ask Allah Azza wa Jal for his dua. And there are so many stories. So ask Allah Azza wa Jal with your deeds, with His names and attributes, and also ask with your deeds, also with the righteous people. That's alive, not the dead. You cannot go to the graves and, "Oh, ask Allah." No, it does not work that way. Like, I cannot go to Al Hussein and say, "Oh, Hussein, youth of Jannah ask Allah Azza wa Jal this or that. No, this is not the guidance of the Prophet Sallam. If you ask Allah, there's no intercession between you and Allah. There's nobody in between Allah. Also, you ask Allah Azza wa Jal with the righteous people who are alive. The dua the Prophet ﷺ told the blind man, some scholars they say this is a specific one. Oh Allah. You know, there is a dispute, but I mean, it's a very easy difference. So, but going back to the recitation of Fatawa, it is something allowed or not allowed. It's not shirk, it's not putting partner with Allah. The second question is the closed apartment. There is a big building, one of the stories. He lives in Houston. He didn't go to that over 10 years. Every month they give him a water bill. He did not live, he didn't live there. So why are you giving me more than what I have done? We say, originally, the closed apartment does not participate in paying the bills if it does not consume anything, unless other matters might be used. Before the building renovation or cleaning the building. Unless there is a rule that you have to pay. And there is some agreement between them. Most of them like relatives, and they have that everybody participate. Everybody pay a little bit to lower it, and you don't get harmed with it. So if that's within an agreement, then it is okay. As if it is donated. It's not obligated. Sometimes, a new question. Sometimes I need to renew my wudu during the prayers, before the prayer. With the virus, I don't want to use that bathroom. Do I go back home? There was no bathroom that I could use. I could go house and come back. Then the prayers will be done. And I lost my place in the first row. I was thinking to make tayammum, and I pray. I will repeat that prayer. At least I prayed in the masjid. Can I make wudu before the lecture immediately? And if I ruin it, if I have a doctor's excuse for not making wudu again. First of all, my brother, if he is for the permanent diseases, like he has Salas, where he always urinate, that he always urinate without control, whatever, for whatever reason, medical reason, and whenever things get tight, it gets wider. You make wudu for that each time of the prayer. The time enter for dhuhr, you make wudu for that time. And it's enough until the next time. And don't worry about whatever comes out until the next prayer. Is there any bigger mercy from Allah? Any more ease? So as soon as the time enters, make wudu and that's it. Go to the masjid and be calm. Whatever comes out of you, no problem. Until the next prayer. But you have to put like a diaper so it does not spread all over the masjid. Or whatever you could do to control the urination from not spreading in the masjid. So you have no problem, inshallah. If you have gas, no, don't worry about it. You did not, you're not responsible for that. As long as you made the wudu during that period. That's if you had that excuse, the medical excuse. I will add something else. Wearing the socks makes it easier to make wudu. Always wear it on purification, so if you make wudu, 5 times you just wipe. I found this one whenever we travel. If you're gonna wash your legs in the airplane, it will be very hard. But you can make wudu and you wear it and wipe and that's it. And be easy. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And whenever you travel to the east, Qibla is your facing you. Don't worry about the minor tilting going back forth. And the Qatari airline, they give you the accurate destination, but the minor tilting, no problem, inshallah. It's not a problem, inshallah. Don't worry about it. When you come back, behind you. It says pray standing. If you can't, then sit down. If you can't, laying down.
إذا لم تستطع القيام فصلي قاعدا ولا حرج ولا تثريب عليك والله أعلم. لكن أنا عندي تجربة شخصية
But I
هقول
have
لك
personal
سر
experience.
حقيقي اسمح حضرتك الآن.
I'll tell you.
إن أنت إذا فرغت من الطعام مع
If you
الشباب
eat and finish eating,
ودعت عيون الناس
and people
وقم
start sleeping,
بالخلف للتسبيح وارجع
go to the
ورا
back.
هتلاقي مكان فاضي
You
جنبك
find an empty
تقدر
place.
تقف
You can
وتصلي
stand and pray
وحدك
a normal
ومش
prayer.
هتدفع وتصرف أجر ولا كل الناس نامت.
All people are asleep anyway.
وأصبحت أنت تناجي ربك في خلوتك في هذا
You
الوقت.
are asking Allah Azza wa Jalla in isolation.
إذا أتيح لك
That's
إذا
if it is available for you.
على كل حال إن لم
Anyway,
تستطع
if you can't, then you sit down.
إن لم تستطع
If you can't, then
على جنب
on the side, like sleeping,
وعليك
laying down.
هل صحيح أنه
Is it correct
يمكن للجن أن يدخلوا جسد الإنسان
that the jinn could enter the body and control it?
عند أهل السنة والجماعة نعم.
With the
لكن كثر
yes,
إحياء هذا الأمر.
but there is a lot of people
كثر
who
من يدعونه
claim
من
it
المرضى
falsely.
وكثر
From who are
من
sick,
يدعونه من الرقاة الراقين. لكن
and
أصله صحيح.
but it is
حتى قال
originally it is true.
لم ينكره إلا سفلة الأطباء والجهلاء وكذا وشن عليهم الغارة. يعني دي حقيقة. لكن المشكلة في كثرة الادعاء.
But the problem with too much people who claim in that they are controlled by the jinn.
يتخصصه الشيطان بالمس. فقد يدعي هذا الكذب البعض.
So some people prosecute or they are rude to it.
بعض أو خطأ البعض الأخطاء خطأ من هذا الجانب أو من ذلك.
Some mistake from this side or that side. It's not void the origin of it. That is true.
شرعيون
That the jinn can enter the human body and have some kind of control
وضع
over it.
التعامل مع هذه الحالات بفضل الله سبحانه وتعالى.
Alhamdulillah, Allah made some people be able to deal with these situations.
طيب أصحيح أن صفوف
Is it
النساء
true
على عكس الرجال
that the roles of the women is different than the women? They start in the back and they go to the front? Yes, it is true.
فإن خير صفوف
Their
النساء
best
آخرها
roles are the
وإن
last,
شر صفوف النساء
and the worst one is the first one.
هذا إذا لم يكن ثمة فاصل بين الرجال.
If there is no barrier between men and women, but if there is a barrier, like we have a wall,
لا يرى الرجال النساء
women
والنساء
cannot see each other
جهاز
except through an instrument, then the best roles will be the first one, and the worst one will be the last. This is just to stop the fitna, the calamity, and it was said some of the women they used to have something on their face. Some men they were weak in their heart, they will go to the last row so they could, whenever they made ruku or sujood, they start looking at the woman behind them. In the Prophet ﷺ masjid, there's no barrier. Like the Masjid al-Haram, there's no barrier. That's how it was at the time of Prophet ﷺ. But with the corruptions that we see,
لكنه لم يكن والذنوب مش في ذنبه واستغنى الناس ببعض التدابير.
Now, some
ايه
people use
التدابير؟ النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان اذا سلم ثبت في مكانه
some of the actions the Prophet ﷺ did, like if he pray, he will stay in his place.
بعد السلام إلا إذا التفت إليكم كلكم
He don't
فلا
turn,
يجعلن
and
في
people do not leave
سيفكم كمسيفه
until he turns.
السلام
So he used to
عليكم
give.
السلام. ما دام الإمام مستقبل
If the Imam is
القبلتين
still facing the Qibla, you're supposed to
إلى
stand still
أن يفرغ من
until he finish,
الأول ويستقبلك بوجهه
and he
فأنت
turn. Then you can go.
الفترة دي كان
That period
الإنسان
used to
النساء
be the time
يخرجن
for the woman to
فلا
leave,
يتخرجن.
so they would not be
ثم
crowded
ترك له
with men.
بيان خاص بأن فيما بعد لو تركنا هذا الباب النساء كان في تدابير معينة تمنع
There's
من
also some arrangement to prevent the
النساء
crowdness, the different entrances.
أصبح عندنا يعني تدابير أخرى مداخل مختلفة
We could have different entrances,
حواجز كبيرة موجودة
barriers.
تأخذ راحتها تماما. لكن الذي أوصي به أن
But what
تهتم بأماكن النساء كاهتمامها
that
بأماكن
the men should take care of the women's section just like the
ما ينفعش
men.
يبقى مصور نساء
AC,
عبارة عن مخزن ستورج
the women's section should not be a storage area.
ولا ينبغي وهو ده الذي جعل للنساء قضية
And that's what gave them an issue. That regression on them in our messages. We do not provide the
اللهم اهدنا سواء السبيل. إني سأشارك في
My
بناء
son
جزء من البيت دور في
is
هذا.
going to
كيف
help.
أحسب حقه في البيت وحق أخواته علما بأن له أخوين وأخت
How do I give his share?
الأمر
It's
إذا
very
لم
easy.
يشأ وابنك أن يقدم هذا البيت
If you don't want to give it as donation to you
وإكراما منه
and an honor to you, this is, see how much he paid? That's loan for him. Either we give him part of the house for it, share, or it'll be a loan that it has to be paid before the division of the house.
دين على البيت قبل تقسيمه من بعد وصية يوصى بها أو دين. إذا مات الميت فترك إرثا فإن ديونه التي لزمته في حياته تكون دينا على التركة قبل قسمها بينهم. فيبدأ بتجهيز الميت من ماله إن وجد ثم يثنى بقضاء ديونه.
You bury the person when he died from his own money, then you pay his debt, then you look at the will, and then you divide the inheritance. I suppose he did not feel good about donating it to you, consider it as a loan, and then deduct it after the death. Make it very clear to your kids after that.
أخوكم هذا له دين على التركة مقدار كذا، أخ له دين واقتسموا الباقي على كتاب الله عز وجل. اللهم اهدنا سواء السبيل. رجل نوى
And man, he intended that he would to pay his zakat early, and he would do it over 3 months period.
عليه أن ينوي في كل شهر
Does he have to make intention every month, or is it enough to do the first time?
الثاني لم يستحضر البيت.
And if he didn't bring the intention next month, is it enough?
أرجو أن يصح إن شاء الله.
I hope that will be alright, but I advise you
أن يستحضر النية فإنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ. لماذا أوصي؟
well, yeah,
الرجل قد يكون رجلا خيرا، قد يكون له صدقات أخرى
he might have other charity besides zakat,
مش بيطلع الزكوات فقط.
because he not only gives the zakat, enter the masjid,
fundraising دفع مبلغ
he paid money in and fundraising, he didn't intend the zakat.
لكان لابد أن تكون مقارنة
you have to have the intention to pay
وبالتالي
the zakah.
يكفي أن تذكر نفسك يا رعاك الله بأن تنوي الزكاة عند إخراجك للمال نية مطلقة. لكن أحيانا تكون النية
But
دي
sometimes the intention
مستبطنة موجودة،
is
فأنت
there,
متخيل إنها غير
but
موجودة.
you think it's
زي
not there.
الشخص يقول لك في شهر رمضان يلزمني أنوي كل ليلة، ما أنت
You have to
النية
intention
بتصلي
every night.
الفجر
Every night
قبل الفجر نص ساعة تتسحر
you get up every
وتصلي
day to
وبتعمل
make
الصلاة
suhoor and get ready.
والقعدة دي كلها دي
All of this is
بالعكس لما
intention.
بتعمل كده عشان انت بتتسحرش عشان انت بتصوم. يعني لا يلزم في النية انك تلبي
The
يا
niyyah is not
رب
just
عبد
to say a certain word.
الله.
No,
الجهر بالنية اصلا ليس له اصلا.
there's no rule for
لو
declaring
صح
the intention.
يفتش عن دليل على الجهر بالنية فلم يأتي لا في حديث لا
So
صحيح
it's not in any hadith
ولا حسن ولا ضعيف
in
ولا
that matter.
موضوع. آخر سؤال
The last
نختم.
question we're going to conclude with.
أود استشارتكم
I
في
want
موضوع
your
ما
consultation
نعلم
about
إن كنا فيه ممن يقتل
Ambassador.
نفسه بغير حق. لقد رزقنا الله
Allah has given us a
وبعد
baby
ولادتها بشهر ونصف
after a month and a half.
علمنا أن لديها خللا جينيا يسمى
We found that she has a genetic problem. Usually,
المصابون به من الرضع
those
ينتقلون إلى بارئهم ما بين سن 3 شهور
usually
إلى 6 أشهر.
3 to 6 months they pass away.
أسبوع من حياة ابنتنا الأولى كانت لا تستطيع التنفس دون الجنين.
She could not breathe,
إضافة إلى الصرع الدائم في
plus several other medical issues.
أرسلنا للجنة الفتاوى
We have sent to the لجنة الفتوى
وإذا كان من الممكن إزالة
إذا
الأجهزة
it is okay to take the instrument and let her die. And they said no problem. Maybe it is more easy for her. At the same time, she will die. The second one is seated only 2 months. My wife is in the 9th month. We knew that our daughter has the same disease. That option was forbidden because after 4 months it's not allowed unless you save the life of the mother. Do we have a sin which was natural born, if it is with the life of the, meaning if during pregnancy we allow him to die, we don't go to C-section, meaning that in that condition they have to do C-section. We have natural birth that will lead to deficiency in breathing and the heart will die. My heart does not allow me to do that. But if you have any other advice, let us know. We tell him protecting the soul, it is one of the major issues in Islam. No one can kill himself. Allah said in the hadith, my son challenged me with his soul. I forbidden paradise to him. Allah said to the person that cut his hand and died because he was afraid of the pain, Allah said, my servant started with me or challenge me, I have forbidden on him paradise.
كنت أقارن بين هذا وبين قصيدة لأحمد شوقي في صحيفة البقرة، يقول يا موت هل حرج على مستنجد بك أن يسابق واقع الآجال. طبعا حرج وألف حرج، لأن الله يقول بادرني عبدي بنفسه حرمت عليه الجنة. وإذا كنا أمام طريقين أحدهما تترتب عليه وفاة معجلة،
If we have the matter of someone who
عدم إجراء عملية يعني قيصرية وترك النقد ينزل إلى أن يموت الجنين.
you take a C-section and then the other one did. The other one, life will stay until Allah wishes. 1 month, 2, 3, Allah Alam. Why prevent him from this life? Don't charge your Lord with, because what is exposed in this, that to leave the C-section, it is rushed to the life of the infant. The C-section could give few months, which is not the normal life.
الذين يخضعون لبرامج علاجية، فالظاهر هو
So what looks that you do the C-section to save his life, even temporary.
وقد يخلف الله ظنون عباده وما ذلك على الله بعزيز.
Maybe Allah will forgive all his servants' sins. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. What is the rule of buying a shop that is on the ceiling of a masjid? In the east, they have the masjid and they have either some place to live or the masjid down and the shop in second. Is it better to avoid it? The masjid is already built. Sometimes masjid is second floor.
أو متجر أيا كان، كون المسجد مبنيا تحت بيت أو فوق لا يمنع
That does not
ولا
make it
يزيل عنه
does not
اسم المسجد،
take the name
فإنه يجوز
mosque on it.
له
You could build the masjid under from the beginning you specify that place for masjid. It's different than to make it some land a masjid.
لأن هواء الوقف وقف مثله، هواء الوقف وقف مثله، لكن لو أنا لم أوقف إلا الدور ده فقط، لم أوقف إلا هذا الدور،
So I just chose that floor as the masjid, then it is okay.
نعم لا حرج في هذا.
Nothing, no burden on that. And several the Fatwa committee in Saudi Arabia, they said not a problem. If it is originally built as a masjid, or the masjid was done after the place of living or under the shop.
في الأصل كأنه حول النية من مسجد إلى مسجد، إنما من مسجد إلى مسجد ما ينفعش. أما إذا كانت إقامة المسجد السكني فوق المسجد الظاهرة فإن هذا لا يجوز، لأن سقفه وما علاه كان له الموسوعة الفقهية. أجاز الشافعية والمالكية
Shafi'i Maliki and
جعل
Hanabila,
علو
they made
الدار مسجدا دون سفلها والعكس لأنهما عينان يجوز وقفهما فجاز
they allowed it
وقفهما
too.
دون الملك.
سبحانك وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
إذا كان الزوج يرغب في البقاء بالغرب، هل يجوز للزوج أخذ الأبناء لبلد الإسلام حفاظا على دينهم وأخلاقهم، خصوصا أن الأبناء يتأثروا ببلاد الغرب والزوج لا يرغب؟ والمسألة يعني ليس مرد الأمر إليه.
Another question: a husband wants to stay in the West. Is the wife has the right to take the kids to an Islamic country, so they will not be affected by the Western values, and the husband don't want to leave the Western countries.
خارج البلاد إلا عن تراض بينكم وتفاهم. فده سؤال نظري، يعني عمليا هل الجواز أو بعدم الجواز مش
If I
هتقدر.
tell you
أنت مش في غابة، أنت في بلد
you are not in
وقوانين وأنظمة
a place, there is rules and laws
وحدود وجوازات سفر وتأشيرات وكذا
in both areas.
ائتمروا بينكم
So
بالمعروف.
consult between each other with goodness. Try to solve your problem between you and your husband. Ask Allah to guide you to what is best.